We're here. Okay. All right, let's wait for the camera and the YouTube and the volume and see if you guys can see me, and we'll do all that, get that started. The inevitable talk here until something comes up. Here we go. TurboTax. Okay, that's the ad for tonight. Skip. And there we go. All right. Jacob, Motimer, Von Mousetrap, Healthy Disrespect, Florida Mama Bear, Fastball, Tal Moore, Paprika Pauline, Marianne, Pennsylvania Mama Bear. Okay, we got a whole bunch of people that can see me. That's a good start. Happy Saturday night, guys. Hopefully you had a good day. It's cold here again. Tomorrow, finally, we are supposed to be back in the 60s. We're under a frost watch tonight. Par for the course, the trees have flowered, so hey, let's make sure we kill all the fruit off again. Fun stuff. So, all right, let's start tonight by talking about the biggest thing that seems to be everybody's talking about in this eclipse that's, 36 hours from now or thereabouts, somewhere about. I'm going to probably piss off a few people with what I'm about to say because everybody is so enamored with this whole thing. I highly doubt it's going to be anything important. I highly doubt anything's going to happen. And if it does, there ain't nothing you can do about it anyway. Okay? I'll give you this. Today, I saw a news story, an interview with a retired Air Force general who was saying, we're going to have an EMP during this eclipse. I saw the story that said, what was it, 2017 or whenever this last eclipse was, the path that it created and the path that this one creates crosses, I think it was Egypt, Illinois, and there happens to be two big crosses right at that spot. Okay, nice coincidence, but maybe it is something, maybe it's not. The way I look at it is this, is if Monday is the end of days, if it's the end of the world, whatever, my question is this, what are you going to do about it? Nothing. There's nothing you can. If Monday's the day that God decided, okay, the Earth experiment was a failure, I'm just getting rid of it, ain't nothing you can do. I don't care how much food you got stored. I don't care how many rounds of ammo you got stored. I don't care how much money you got. Okay? When God decides it's done, it's done. The best thing you could possibly prep for that possibly to happen, in my opinion, Monday morning, kiss your kids and tell them that you love them before they go to school. Kiss your spouse and tell them that you love them before they go to work. Because if something happens, that'll be your last memory of spending time with your kids or your spouse. If nothing happens, it ain't a bad way to start a day. Okay. It drives me absolutely nuts that we have all this fear-mongering, sensationalism going on about this issue, okay? And I'll give you this as an example. We've all heard about the earthquake that hit New Jersey yesterday, right? Maybe you heard about the New York senatorial candidate who tweeted, "This is proof of climate change," until everybody basically blew her up for the comment and said, no, it's tectonic plates. And she removed the tweet and hid her Twitter account, okay, because she was proven to be an idiot. But you look at what happened yesterday with that whole thing. And every news channel, breaking news, breaking news. This is the biggest earthquake in 250 years in New Jersey. We have film of the terror that happened in this house. Fox News, classic one, or Fox Business, actually. Stu Varney's morning show is interviewing Jack Keane, right? General Jack Keane. And they were playing this throughout the day. We have video of how scary it was on this set, how the terrifying video, they used the term terrifying video. And you saw the camera do this. And that was how scary it was. Ooh, they were interviewing people. How scared were you? I don't know, my dishes rattled a little bit. Oh, wow. But it was all over the news for 6 or 8 hours yesterday. All the websites, everybody sensationalizing this on this terrible event that happened in New York. Okay. Then, of course, you had the big one. This was the funniest one. The epicenter was underneath Trump's golf course. Oh, I guess that means it's Trump's fault that we had an earthquake. Let me ask, if the earthquake was under Walmart, would it have been Walmart's fault? No, but the media somehow had to figure out how to make it Trump's fault and how to make it climate change. Okay. You see what's going on with this whole eclipse, and businesses are closed, schools are closed. I forget what state it is, but one state has declared a national emergency or a state of emergency. I mean, it's freaking insane. There's hundreds of thousands of people who are going to make the trek to see this. The biggest danger you're probably going to have is all the criminals who are going to go, hey, look, cars to break into, people to pickpocket, people to shoot, kill, murder, rob. That's the big fear, okay? Personally, I'm not worried about whether or not a natural cosmic event is going to change the earth or not. Like I said, if it turns out it's the end of days and the whole Nineveh and crosses and everything like that, ain't a damn thing I can do about it. The day I'm called home is the day I'm called home. I'll prepare for anything I can for man, but when the good Lord says you're done, you're done. Ain't nothing you can do about it, okay? So I just, it's absolutely insane how all these news media, websites, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and they're click me, click me, click me. And it's going to be just like everything else. You know, how many times have we heard in the last couple of decades, Florida's going to be flooded, the oceans are receding, the world's going to collapse by this day if we don't stop something, whatever it is. And that day comes around and miraculously, we all wake up the next morning. And you go back and ask those people, well, what about your crickets? Oh, just forget I said that. But thanks for buying my book, watching my movie, doing whatever, right? Okay. This is going to be the same damn thing. The media and all these social media is going, cool. You know, money I'm making, all these people just hitting my clickbait. And on Tuesday, they're going to go, well, you know, maybe the next one, you know, a broken clock is right 2 times a day. You know, it's just like that guy, you know, that everybody's seen on a street corner somewhere. The end of the world is nigh. Eventually, he's going to be right. I just don't think it's going to be Monday. That's pretty much what I got to say about that. So, all right. We'll see what you guys respond to that, but let's get into some Q&A. As usual, if you got questions for me, please put them in all caps. It just makes it easier for me to find them in the chat room. The only thing I do require, keep the trolls out. If you're going to be rude, obnoxious, want to be an asshole, just leave now, because you say something that's idiotic like that or insulting to anybody in the chat room or me, you won't be back, okay? And the mods know I don't give second chances. I don't care. Engage brain before putting fingers in gear. If you don't want to do that, goodbye. You're not going to hurt my feelings. I don't care. All right, let's get up to the top and see how many people I already pissed off. Because I'm good at that. All right. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Paladin 1, do I know anybody who refurbishes wood stoves? I don't have a clue. Okay. But it says, I got a potbelly stove for free today that needs rehab. There's got to be somebody out there that does that. Uh, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even know where. The only thing I'd think of is if you could find somebody that was maybe a blacksmith or something like that. That, but I mean, God, good luck finding somebody to do that. That's going to be tough. But yeah, if you got a free potbelly stove and you can get it fixed, I mean, those things are a couple $1,000. If you get somebody to fix it for $500 or whatever it is, still get a hell of a steal. Yeah, there you go. Von Mousetrap. There's another perfect example. People panicked over Y2K. Now I feel like it's worse. Chill out, people. Yeah, I mean, remember, go back to Y2K. You remember all that? People were, I mean, stocking up like crazy. The computers aren't going to know what to do. Get all your money out of the bank. Do it. And we went, wow, look, nothing happened. I mean, this is it. It was, and that Y2K is a perfect example. It was all another thing to sell you a bunch of stuff to get you to, and not that we had a whole lot of internet back then, but we still had it, and, click, 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 do whatever. And hell, 2000, we were probably still using AOL. Uh, and just instilling panic in people. It's, the public really, really needs to learn to stop listening to the media, because by now everybody should know they have ulterior motives. Okay. And they don't tell you the truth. They're just trying to sell stuff. And think rationally for themselves. I don't care at all how this is going to affect somebody who decided to drive 300 miles to go find a hotel room to sit in their car. If they're that silly that they want to do it, that's on them. It doesn't affect me. I'm not going to worry about it. If they can't find a hotel, if they can't find food, if they get robbed, whatever it is, they run out of gas on the side of the road, well, you should have thought about it before you went. Okay. Beam us up, Scotty. There you go. Easy. RK, taking Monday off. If nothing else, my garage will be clean. There you go. Okay. And if there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of businesses that are closing for this. Now, if you're closing because you're in the line of fire, per se, and you don't want to be an onslaught of 60,000 people in your tiny little town, okay, I get it. But if you're closing because you're afraid, grow a set. That's all I can say. Southern Magnolia, I'll be at work Monday. It's 30 miles from home. There you go. The funny part is, it's going to be raining here. I mean, not that I'm in the line, but I mean, for where I am, I should be able to see some of it. It'll be cloudy, so I won't see anything. If it gets a little dark for 4 minutes, okay, big deal. Storm Chasing Gal. Pinball, the last time this happened with the New Madrid fault and cicadas was the 1800s, and a president died. Well, I wouldn't complain if Biden died. Don't get me wrong. The only problem is then we get the cackling hen as our temporary president, and that's a recipe for utter disaster. But the sooner Joe was put 6 feet under, the better off the world will be. But again, you can do anything with that. I mean, at that point, I could say, a red Jeep just went down the street and I got a headache. Therefore, the red Jeep is the cause of my headache. No, it's just things that happened at the same time. I mean, it doesn't make, as much as everybody wants to correlate all this stuff, and I get that there's some biblical correlations, okay, and I'm not trying to say no, but there comes a point where you've got to go, all right, you know what? Just because there was an earthquake on the New Madrid fault and it was a year of cicadas, it does not mean a president's going to die. You know, it goes back to the Nostradamus predicting Hitler, but spelled the name wrong, predicting Kennedy's assassination. Yeah, if you read something a certain way and if you work really hard, you can twist things together and go, yeah, cause and effects. They aren't related whatsoever, but, you know, people do it anyway. Monday is the sequel to Y2K. There you go, Krista. Oh, God. Okay, Tricia, here's another one. Yes, someone actually suggested since the earthquake was a 4.8 and the eclipse is on 4.8, I guess that means I'm going to shrink by 2 feet. And, on Monday, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be 4'8", right? Because that's how it works. The eclipse is coming. The eclipse is coming. Yes. There you go. Oh, see, this is why I love you guys, because you can put a laugh into some of this stuff too. All right, let's see. Motimer, I think it was a Texas sheriff that said 2 weeks of food, water, extra gas, and have paper maps. Okay, good. At least it's a start, But, I mean, I look at that and I go, okay. A lot of people in this country get paid every 2 weeks. So chances are when they go to the grocery store, they buy 2 weeks worth of food till the next paycheck. So that covers that. Okay. Having water. Okay. Most people that aren't preppers really don't think about that. Extra gas. Well, okay. Depends on the type of person you are. Are you the type of person that lets your car get down to, I got 8 miles still empty in my car? Are you the person go, I got half a tank, I need to fill up? Okay. Modern cars now, you're getting somewhere between 300 and 500 miles a tank. So, I can get almost to the eastern seaboard on a tank of gas. Okay, let's see. Paladin wants no live stream Tuesday if it ends. Yeah, I don't think there's an internet connection in heaven. So yes, if the world ends, I won't be here on Tuesday. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Maybe you'll see me live with wings. I don't know. And not Red Bull. Cody's Glore. I'm going to take a shot. That's what you're trying to do there. Better the media talk about the ground shaking a bit than talking about Biden. Yeah, the only thing I look at is, I'm still waiting for what the cause of the Jersey earthquake was. I was wondering if it was Trump fell out of, or I'm sorry, Chris Christie fell out of bed. Well, that joke went flat when I screwed it up. Okay. Jeff Outdoors, Evening Pinball got Danny and Wanda on too. They changed their time. Okay, I know Danny, they used to go, maybe they're just ending. I know they used to start an hour before me. So, Seven Customs, who runs the media? How to put this without pissing people off? The liberal elites, and I'll let you read into it from there. Okay. Amanda Wilkerson, it's not the end of the world. I'm a prophecy watcher. It's not happening that way. I'm going to agree with you, not because of prophecy, but I'm going to use common sense, okay, logic. I don't know. Maybe my ears should get pointy and I call myself Mr. Spock. Wendy Cosmo, did I see Redacted's Death by 1,000 Cuts? No. Home of the Brave. Whoops. Where do we go? Should I be learning SHTF languages? Morse code, sign language, Spanglish, Pig Latin? Morse code is not a bad one to learn. The problem is so few people know it. Excuse me. So few people know it. There's the thing. If you just because you're tapping out something, doesn't mean anybody's going to understand what you're saying. So there's the downside. Leo Miranda, thank you for the super chat. That's the first donation to the Christmas fund we've had in, a couple of months here. Changing topic from the Eclipse to Mrs. P's wildlife management. Here's a little contribution to her wildlife fund. Funny, when we were at the store on Friday, one of the things she wanted to pick up was birdseed. So yes, though I don't complain. The thing was, we saw one of her little suet packs, little square things. It's like 4x4 or whatever you put in a cage and hang from a tree. There was a crow trying to get in. It was funny as we were watching this crow go. It's a light branch. The crow pull the branch all the way down, fly off. Kept trying to get into it. But thank you for the super chat. Kevin Little, I'm getting $25 from that Walmart settlement thing. $25 will go far nowadays. Thank you for sharing that. You're most welcome. I saw that last night. It's like, okay, this is something everybody needs to know about. I don't know. I won't say how far $25 goes. But it'll put half a tank of gas in my car. So that's it. Get you, well, depending on the price. Right now, it'll get me about 7 gallons of gas. Who knows with the idiot in chief and everything he's doing is screwed up. What'll happen there. Though I'm not going to complain. I will say this. We've all seen gas prices go up. They've gone from $2.79 to $3.19 here in a month. Okay. The best predictor of a presidential election is gas prices the summer before the election. Okay. If prices go up significantly, the incumbent loses. If prices go down, the incumbent wins. So as much as I don't want to see $5 a gallon of gas out of my wallet, if it means Joe loses in November, bring it on. William Tate, this year I've gotten a lot of bad food from many places. I'm going to take a guess you're talking about grocery stores and not restaurants, okay? Because restaurants, I completely get it because they can't hire staff. Nobody wants to work there because they don't make any money. The servers all quit because they don't make any money because people are cutting back on tips and the customer flow is down anyway. So yeah, restaurants are closing like crazy, especially if you're in California and you just got hit with a $20 minimum wage, and restaurants, fast food restaurants are closing like crazy in California. But if you're talking about grocery stores, this does not surprise me. A couple things. When you're buying canned goods or anything in the aisles, the center aisles, hopefully most of us are shopping the outer edge and not in the center, but there's still stuff in the center we need. But make sure you're checking those expiration dates on food, because I can't tell you how many times I've looked at different things in the store and it's 2 months past its best buy date already, and it's still on the shelf, okay? Because they figure nobody's looking at it. The other thing is, and most stores have something like this, in the meat counter, meat section, where you're picking up your ground beef or your pork chops or your chicken or whatever. There's always that one corner where they've got, manager's specials, the stuff that's about to go bad, and they're going to have to get rid of it. So they've marked it down 50% or something like that. Anybody else notice that section is getting more and more and more stuff in it because people are buying less and less because they can't afford it. You look at, I told you the other day about the bargain we got on chicken and bacon, but you go in, you want to buy a decent sized pot roast, it's $20, okay? You want to buy pork chops or something like that, if you can find it on sale, you're $2 a pound, okay? The food is starting to get more and more expensive. And don't for a second think this isn't all planned, okay? We got to cull all the chickens. We're trying to keep people from farming. We're trying to keep people from having gardens. You know, the stories that you've seen lately that gardens, I think I talked about this maybe a month ago, gardens put 5 times the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere as commercial farms. They don't want, you know, you should be out in your garden with a mask on because of the toxicity of soil. There's something else it's off the top of my head, but they're doing everything they can to get us to stop eating healthy and just be able to eat all this GMO crap. And it's, you know, it's funny because you hear every country going, we're having population problems. The birth rate is down. Japan, you know, notoriously 97.5% of Japanese citizens are native Japanese. Okay. Yet they announced this week that they're going to allow 800,000 immigrants into Japan because they don't have enough people to do all the work that needs to be done. It's the same crap that Biden keeps giving us, that we don't have enough people here to do all the work that needs to be done. I won't disagree that that's a problem, because you talk to Gen Zers and millennials, younger millennials at least, and they're going, I'm not having kids. It's too crazy expensive to have kids. Well, that's when we get into a problem. If there isn't another generation, there's nobody to do the work, let alone because of the Ponzi scheme that is Social Security, you know, then there's nobody to pay into Social Security so they can pay out the people the money back that they already put into it. Okay. So yeah, they've got a big population problem going on, and that's, you know, part of the reason that Joe wants all these illegals. The thing is, he can't think past here and go, they don't pay taxes because they're illegals. But yeah. Okay, that was a long answer to that question. So now we have to find out where I was. Hang on. Okay, as far as I can go up. There you go. Russell K says, find a good machine shop to weld you some 1/2-inch steel plate where you need it. I'm guessing that's on the potbelly stove question. Dano, not in the lion's den. Thank you for the 555. I'm wondering if you're trying to do 556 on that, but thank you for your service. Thank you for obliging your wisdom. Thank you for spreading the truth. 2 + 2 is 4. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Tiffany Isaacson, what do I think of a 72-hour food supply disruption? Oh, that ought to be fun. If we had 72 hours, I mean, literally, guys, if we had grocery stores have about 72 hours worth of food on the shelf. Okay. So all of a sudden, if you heard that, oh my God, there's going to be no food delivered for 3 days to the grocery store, there will be a mad dash on the grocery stores. And then you will see people fighting over the last pack of pork chops. Yeah. If that comes about anywhere, get ready to see violence over food. That's all it takes, guys, is 3 days and the grocery stores are empty. Okay. And if we have a 72-hour just supply chain problem like that, there's no food coming in, lock and load. Okay. Because you better be ready to protect what you got. Tina Marie, any idea what's wrong with my tomatoes? Out of 300 seeds, I only have 15. Never had trouble before. Okay, couple of questions I'm going to have here. Are these seeds you saved, or are they store-bought seeds? Okay. If they're seeds you saved, I would bet that the tomatoes that you saved it from weren't fully ripe. And so you got immature seeds and those won't germinate. If they're store-bought seeds, okay, is it warm enough? I think temperature, I want to say tomatoes need, I think it's 65, maybe it's 70 degree soil temperature to germinate. And with this cold spell we've had here for the last week or so, if it's too cold, they won't germinate. Those would be the two biggest things I could think of. Linda Bopp, pinball. After many years, my microwave quit. Went to Walmart. All of them are made in China. Shocking. I wanted one made in the United States. Didn't happen. So good luck buying anything electronic that's made in the United States. I mean, practically impossible. I mean, hell, you look at most of the parts in your American-made car are made in China. Okay, just to give you that as an idea. And this goes all the way back to Bill Clinton. Okay, and selling out all our manufacturing to China, and everybody's like, "Oh, we'll become a service economy," right? And China's got us by the cojones, going, "You do it our way, or we're not giving you anything." You know, it's like Joe and his great Green New Deal crap. Well, we want everybody to go solar. Try finding a solar panel that isn't made in China. Try finding a solar battery that isn't made in China. Good luck. Okay, it's the problem. We are completely slaves to China, and the public doesn't realize it because, well, it's in Walmart, it's sold in the USA, or it says assembled in the USA. It just doesn't say with Chinese parts. Joe Cook, Y2K wasn't all bad. It started me prepping. There you go. Huts John, oh God, this goes back. Y2K was a real problem with the COBOL programming language, but it was an easy fix. I'll give you a silly story on COBOL. And this was an argument I had. And those of you guys who work in IT, you'll understand this one. And you guys know for years I recruited IT people and engineers and finance, but a lot of IT in the last 10 years. And I get these managers all the time who'd come up with this, and I used to call it a Santa Claus list. I want this and 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 this. They want, a litany of skills, 50 different things for the qualified person. Nobody had everything, of course, and I tried to tell them that and they wouldn't care. But the one that always got me was, I'll just make something up. I want somebody who's got 2 years of SharePoint experience and they have to have a degree. Okay, so let me ask you this. If a guy's got 2 years worth of SharePoint experience, but no degree, you don't want to talk to him. But the guy who got his degree in 1991 and knows how to program in COBOL, you're okay with that, right? And I swear, and you wonder how these people got into management. It's like, understand, dude, a college education gets you your first job. Your experience gets you every job thereafter. That's it. And deer in the headlights look, well, no, I need somebody who's got both. Okay, you just limited your candidate pool by 90%, and why can't you find him? Well, because maybe you're too restrictive for what you're looking. I can find you people that can do the job. You just want some bullshit degree that somebody got 20 years ago that has nothing to do with what they're doing now, but that, because they got that sheepskin, it was important to you. Yeah, there you go. Sidebar. Amy Svaab, late coming tonight. How much weight have I lost? Okay, so today, Saturday, is the official weigh-in for me and Mrs. P. I officially broke 290 today, so I was at 289.8. So I had been down at 288 sometime this week and then bounced back up a little bit. But Saturdays are our official days where I record everything. So this is my first official day under 290. So, yep, so I'm at 20 pounds, basically. Are you prepping? Very good. There's a father and daughter in New Hampshire that restore old stoves called Good Time Stove Company. If he lives up in Boston or lives in New Hampshire or something like that, that'd work. I mean, but it's not like you can really ship a cast iron stove. It would cost you more shipping than it's worth. North of the 52nd, is Diana Harshbarger my congresswoman? She has regular meetings around my district. No, Diana Harshbarger is first district, which is far east Tennessee. Chuck Fleischman is second. He's the jackass I would have run against because he was my old one. And then when we got redistricted after the last census, then I got Tim Burchett, who's my congressman now. So, but no, Diana Harshbarger, I think she went in and she either went in 2020 or 2020 or 2022. So she's still young in Congress, but she's well known around Eastern Tennessee to be standing up for us. I mean, Burchett and Harshbarger are a couple of the good ones. Fleischman is an absolute piece of shit. So, you know, he is the epitome of rhino. Norman Kirby, there's a good idea. Check with the welding shop. Okay. Jacqueline Presnell, Pinball, what'll I do on Monday? Let's see, I'll make a video in the morning. I will probably go out and work in the yard because it's supposed to be in the 70s on Monday if it's not raining. If it is raining, I will figure out something to do in the garage or around the house, and then I bowl on Monday night. That'll be Monday. Yeah. I ain't doing anything. I don't care. And if it's the end of the world, I'll meet my maker. Northern Ozark Homestead. We have folks who live in St. Louis asking for the day off to watch. Okay. If I'm not mistaken, this is supposed to happen somewhere around, I want to say it starts at like 11 o'clock Eastern. So if that's down in southern Texas, by the time it gets to St. Louis, my guess is that, because Central Time, that would be somewhere around lunch. So you know what? Go buy your Big Mac, sit outside, look up in the sky for a whopping 4 minutes, and get your ass back to work. Demo back. Total eclipse in South Georgia right now. It's completely dark outside, like it's night. Smart ass, but good. Thank you. I needed that. Tommy M. There you go. If it's end times, we get to meet God and Jesus sooner. Amen. Couldn't agree more. That's it. John Montague, you posted a video about 4-digit voting. Where did you find that at? And what day was it? I have no idea what you're talking about 4-digit voting. So it wasn't me who posted that video. Von Mousetrap, how many people know how to read a map other than the U.S.? I'll give you this. Not only how many people do we need to know how to read like a Rand McNally road map, how many people know how to read a topographic map? I guarantee you everybody that's in the military or does. Okay. But yeah, where you can look on a map and you can tell whether there's hills or valleys or saddles or whatever you got, ridges, whole 9 yards. Yeah. Okay. That might be important, because you look on a map, a nice little flat map, and you go, oh, okay, I can walk through northern Arizona right here. Till you go, crap, it drops off about a mile right there. What am I going to do? Because you got the Grand Canyon. If you know how to read a topo map, guess what? You know there's a valley there. Let's see. Don Hill, I personally think it's the powers that be are planning something and will blame the eclipse. Possible. Okay. And again, if that's the fact, that's why you prep. Okay. We can prep for anything that's man-made. Can't, anything that's divine intervention, forget it. Okay. That, like I said, God wants to end the earth. Take me, I'm yours. Okay. But if Joe decides this is a good day to kill communications, turn off the power or whatever it is, I go, fine. Click, 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 and I'll have electricity. Damn, gee, Joe, guess you didn't interfere with my day too much. You know, but how many people? I mean, there's all of us, and 1,500 of us in here. We're prepped, okay? But how many people in your street, how many people in your neighborhood do anything? You might be the only one. Maybe there's a couple others, okay? But, you know, when a optimistic number is 5% of the United States is prepped, but they say 40 some odd percent of Gen Zers are prepped. They have a week's worth of food in their house. And I'm like, yeah, that's what you buy when you go to the grocery store. You know, that's not prepping. You know, talk to me when you get 6 months of food as a minimum. Then we'll talk. Fat Daddy's Outdoor Cooking, great show. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Let's see. Blackjack 22, the powers that be will use the Eclipse to have an EMP. I told you there was a retired Air Force general that said that in an interview this weekend. Again, go for it. You know, I hate to tell you, they're China AR-15s, 308s, EMPs don't affect those, not at all. We ain't gonna worry about it. Let's see if I can get, here we go. Tony Quellhorse, thank you for the super chat. I live 10 miles southwest of the Space Museum in Wapakoneta, a town of 10,000 people that are supposed to get 100,000. Might get interesting. I was a scout in the Army. Thank you for doing a little bit of work with me at one point, maybe, or at least one of my, yeah, if you were a scout, meaning forward observer for tankers, yep, I know you guys all too well. Trained a lot of you guys. Some of the craziest people in the military are scouts too, I will tell you that. But yeah, you get a town of 10,000 people with 100,000 people in it. 10,000, a town that big doesn't have hotel rooms for that many people. The restaurants can't handle that many people. So it's gonna get a little crazy. Yeah. Let's see, where else? Elidwin Mare, if I'm pronouncing that right. My neighbor put a bunch of porta potties in an empty pasture, charging $15. Smart idea. There you go. The only problem is the guys are going to go, there's a tree over there and it's free. So, yeah. Mountain climber, hey, maybe something will go missing in the Bermuda Triangle. That hasn't happened in about 2 decades. Damn, when is Air Force One going to Bermuda? Stubborn forever. Did my seed starting soil a month ago and plants are doing great. You were most welcome. You saved a ton of money too, didn't you? Bo Simpson, I like that. We have a caliber for every event. It's nice. Infinitely blessed. I forgot to say that I live in Massachusetts for the zucchinis. Okay, so I missed the question, but I'm betting you are asking about planting zucchini. It's still way too early. Zucchini are a hot weather crop. So you probably, even down for me, it ain't time to plant it. Well, it might be getting close now. About mid-April will be the time to start seeds indoors for my zucchini. Kathleen Maddox, have I planted potatoes yet? Nope, not till mid-April again for those for me. Charlie Knoll, did I ever get the ram pump going for the pond? No, it's all built. I mean, I've got the pump built, I've got the hose laid, I've got the PVC to run it, all 360 feet of it to get 9 feet of drop. But no, it's not all put together yet because between me being sick, then Mrs. P being sick, and then Brett did a wonderful one yesterday and cut the tip of his finger off. We'll get there eventually. So hope, and by now it's going to be, everything's going to start growing in there. It's going to mess us up. Our life off grid. Dang, it cost me $130 to fill my tank here in my minivan. You're lucky down there. Like I said, $3.19. I mean, yeah, and our gas is cheaper than a lot of places. I mean, if you're living out west or whatever, forget it. Prep Rebel, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Still playing in Canadian funny money, huh? Thank you. Thanks, brother. Let's see. Good friend. All right. IXLR81967. There's got to be a meaning for that somewhere, but God knows I can even try to pronounce what you're going for. What are my thoughts on our commander-in-chief not refilling the oil reserve? There we go. Yeah. So if you guys noticed in March, gas prices came down. That's because Biden was doing a good job of depleting these strategic petroleum reserves. And then we got down, I think down to 17% in the SPR. And then oil prices all of a sudden went up. And so now we're up over 90 bucks a barrel. And Joe's like, we can't afford to fill the SPR. So we could try to keep gas prices down to help your reelection bid. But when it comes to defending the country, our country, we can't afford it. But oh yeah, we can send a bunch more money over to Ukraine to help defend their country. Got it, Joe. Okay. How's that word spelled? Oh yeah, Traitor. Got it. Linda Bob, gas here in Western Pennsylvania, my area is $3.99, up 10 cents from yesterday. Yeah, I mean, I know we have some of the least expensive gas in the country. One of the reasons I moved here. I mean, when we got here, when Mrs. P and I came out here, for those of you guys that are East Tennessee, you'll know what I'm talking about. When we flew out here from Vegas to look at this house, it was February 1st, 2019. We landed in Nashville because there was not a direct flight all the way to Knoxville. And I hate changing planes. So I drove from not Nashville to Knoxville, which is about a 4-hour drive. Okay. We stayed in Sevierville. And we got into our hotel somewhere around midnight, maybe 12:30 by the time we landed Saturday morning, the 2nd. And the first thing I noticed when we got here was gas was $1.90. We had left Vegas where it was almost $4. Gas was half the price here than it was in Vegas in 2019. That was, hello, okay, one big point for Tennessee, and we haven't even got to our hotel yet. Let's see. Coffee guy, I've got bad cans of food with the date of 2025. That doesn't surprise me. You know, again, they're stuffing whatever they can in a can and hope people will buy it, and that's that. Blackjack 22. A head of lettuce at the commissary at the military base near me was $2.99 a head. Okay, just for those of you guys that don't know, the commissary is what the military calls the grocery store on post. Not trying to insult anybody's intelligence, but I guarantee somebody out there didn't know that. $2.99 a head. That's, the hell was that? Was it $1.69? I think is what we were seeing all year last year around here. Yeah, so $3 a head for lettuce, which is what 98% water, has no nutritional value whatsoever. $3 a head. Got it. Okay. You know, I'll give you an idea, Blackjack. Find yourself a pot of any sort that's maybe 8 inches around, 6 to 8 inches around, fill it with soil and get some leaf lettuce seeds, throw it in there, let it grow, pull off whatever leaves you need instead of the head. Okay, pull off the leaf. You know, I'm making a sandwich. I need 2 leaves of lettuce. Go pull off 2 leaves of lettuce. This thing just keeps growing. Okay, you'll have it all year. You know, save yourself a lot of money if you like lettuce. If you're vegetarian, like a lot of salads, get a few pots of them. Let's see, we shot to the bottom here, so I gotta find where it was again. We're going to go all the way to the top here. Yep, there we go. Pretty close. Okay. Country Humans Network. We have pork chops on special this next week for 99 cents a pound at Hy-Vee in the Midwest. That's a good price. I'd be loading up. Let's see. Yeah, staying alert. You and me both. I love getting my hands in the garden soil. Toxicity is BS. No kidding. Considering most of my soil is manure or compost or grass clippings or leaves or straw or shredded up newspaper. Yeah, no, I don't think there's a whole lot of toxicity. The only toxicity I'd have in mind is whatever the hell they're spraying in the sky. Dog Mom just finished canning 14 pineapples that I got on sale. Wow, that's cheap. 88 cents a piece for pineapple. That's cheap. I love pineapple too. Von Mousetrap, did I get a hazmat suit for Mrs. P so she can feed the birds safely? Well, Mrs. P has a hazmat suit and gas mask and a whole 9 yards. We got that, but not to go out and feed the birds. NT, how's Mrs. P's driving doing? She's promised me she will be ready to go get her test for her permit by this summer. It's a sore spot around here, trust me. The funny part is she keeps looking. She goes like, "Well, what kind of car should I get?" I'm like, "You ain't getting anything until you can drive it." Tammy K, try finding a solar panel that can work with chem clouds. Yeah, ain't that the truth? Caveman look, in the 70s and 80s, Knoxville was big in the textile industry. Yeah, when you go down, you can still see the old brick buildings with the paint on the side. The paint's very faded now, but you can still see the textile companies' names on the side of the buildings painted on there. Scott T, Pinball, still using EcoFlow batteries, finally in a position to buy one. Oh, yeah. The power went out. I think I told you guys this the other night. We were having storms come through. It was about midnight. My alarm went off to tell me that the electricity in my freezers went out. It woke me up in the middle of the night. And it's like, okay, the alarm goes off. It means power's off. I looked over at my clock when I woke up. My alarm clock was off. And I went into the mechanical room, go flip, turned on the power, went back to bed. Woke up in the morning, the power was back on. But it's like, okay, yeah, no, I got my whole setup, is all the EcoFlow Delta Pros, and I love the system. So, but again, I won't say outdated because it certainly works fine, but it's not the newest model. But if it's got a 10-year life, 10-year life cycle and go, 3,500 cycles, I'm not using it every day. So, it's still going to last me 9 years and 11 and a half months from the use I've given out of it now. So I'm good with that at this point. JC Glock 40, would I speak on ComString SHTF? There's numerous videos I have done on radios and everything like that. You can do a search for communication, radios, GMRS, ham, CBs, anything like that. I've probably got half a dozen videos on talking about radios. Looking for stuff that's questions. Yeah, Kevin Little, AOC, once said, we don't even need the sun. The moon gives us light even at night. Yeah, I know. She's one hell of a rocket scientist. She's also the same one that says, what do we need farms for? Meat comes from the grocery store. Breed, 4-digit voting. My video on illegals being able to vote and only provide 4-digit. That wasn't me, guys. I did not do that video. Amanda Wilkerson, Pinball, I can read either, worked for an appraiser, and it's been okay, I don't understand the question. P. Fletch 83, I wonder how nervous the government is that this many people know they're up to something. Uh, They aren't. That's the problem. See, that's the whole problem with our government. Our politicians now think they are our overlords. We have gone from the politicians work for the people to the politicians are rulers over the people. And that's what's got to be fixed. That's the definition of the swamp right there. That's what's got to be fixed. Is we need politicians in Washington, in the state houses, everywhere that understand they work for us, not the other way around. Okay. And the problem is too many of them get too comfortable in there, and they've got this good old boys network in there where, Joe Biden, I've been in politics for 50 years. I've never held a regular job in my life. Oh, wait, I was a lifeguard. Yeah, what, when you were 16? Okay. Joe, you're 104. But, these guys, they get entrenched into politics and figure they're better than the people they represent. And the problem that you get is the people in their district or in the country or whatever never throw them out on their ass. And it's very easy for them to keep the power because Congress themselves decides who gets the money. Oh, we like this incumbent, so we're going to give him a whole bunch of money. Oh, we don't like this incumbent, we're not. Case in point, Liz Cheney and Harriet Hageman, right? What's his name? The turtle, Mitch McConnell, wanted Liz Cheney to stay in Washington, so he gave a bunch of money from the Senate reelection fund to Liz Cheney. And Harriet Hageman had to do it basically all grassroots. But, would she win 88-12, I think was the 87-13? Cheney nobody wanted Cheney, right? But McConnell dumped her a bunch of money. So if you got something that's a little close, who's got more money? And you go, well, advertising doesn't do a whole lot. Sure, advertising does some. But paying staff and doing things like that, yeah, that's important. If you can't hire staff, then you don't have a chance of getting reelected. The days of, the whistle stop tours, getting on a train, walking down the street and kissing babies, that's not how you get elected anymore. Adam Hoffman, hey Pinball, how do you use for nitrogen? Okay. How do you use nitrogen in a garden? I'm going to try to guess that's what you're trying to say. Depending on the plant, okay? Plants need nitrogen for green growth. Corn is a grass. Corn needs nitrogen even to fruit. That's it, okay? The rest of them are going to need potassium or phosphorus. But your green growth all comes from nitrogen. At the beginning of the season, probably a month before you plant, you should hit your garden with your 10-10-10 or your triple 13 or whatever. The reason I say a month before is because all those granules don't just go poof and they're feeding your plants. You want to get it in the soil because it kills me. It takes about 90 to 120 days for all that nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus to be used. And you look in your plants and go, oh, and this has got a 67-day harvest. Cool. So you've got all this fertilizer that you put in your soil that hasn't even broken down yet, and you're already picking the plants, so you're wasting money. That's why you need to get it out ahead of time. Liquid nitrogen, you could also use blood meal or something like that if you're going to do that. Liquid nitrogen, which you guys know is my favorite, okay, because it's free and it's very abundant, is diluted urine, 10-1, okay? Pee in a bottle, mix it with 10 parts water, go water your plants, okay? They'll love you. Just make sure you dilute it, otherwise you'll burn them up. Let's see, we're at 9:58. Okay. What Mikhail 539? What do I think about this new white rural rage mess? I talked about that in a video about a week ago. Okay, we just talked about how do I store my urine used for nitrogen in the garden. I put it in a mason jar. Just make sure you use it within, maybe about 6 weeks of saving it, because otherwise it starts turning into vinegar for all intents and purposes. Prep Rebel, there has to be a bit of Canadian funny money tossed into the mix. Okay. Uh, Whoops. Somebody said gold is up $44 or something like that. Where was it? Hang on, I want to see what that was. Because, yeah, there we go. Reagan Dog, gold is up 44 today to 23.99. The dollar is tanking fast. Yeah, if you guys have taken a look at what gold's done, gold's up like 15% in 2 weeks. Okay. I mean, you think about that, 15%. You put money in a savings account right now, you make 5%. In a year, gold's up 15%. Spot price, not premiums. Okay, but not that there's a hell of premium on gold is about 3%. But the increase of gold and silver, I mean, silver's at a 3-month high, or 3-year high. I'm sorry, it's at the same price. The last time it was in 27 and change, where it is now was spring, I think it was May of 2021. Gold obviously is hitting a new all-time high every day. So yeah, all those of you guys that were buying precious metals over the last couple of years, you're probably in profit margins now, unless you paid ridiculous premiums. Okay. Silver, I'd still be a buyer on. Gold, I'd wait on. I'm going to tell you this right now. Wait for a pullback on both of them. We've got too frothy. Okay, we're going to come back. There's going to be some profit taking. You're going to see probably, I'd bet a good 10% pullback on both of them. Okay, do you ever see gold below 2,000 again? I don't know if you do. Okay, but I'll bet you still see it with the first two numbers of being 2.0 or 2.1. So, all right, I'm over a minute already, but guys, that was a fun one tonight. Enjoy a Saturday night. Have fun tomorrow. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.